What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Rawstocks. This is Rustic. Today we're going to be taking a look at Tesla's chart. We're going to look at where price came from last week, where price is likely to head tomorrow and into the next new week. We're going to be taking a look at Tesla. We're going to be taking a look at QQQ. We're going to be taking a look at what everybody is talking about for this week, which is Nvidia with the earnings report coming out. So we'll just look at those three tickers today. A little bit of a weekend update, just filling you in on kind of what price is telling us right now and what some of our expected moves are. We'll try to take an objective look at this, give you upside targets, downside targets as potential in case we go in either direction. Before we get started, don't forget to check out the links in the description below. Link to the Rawstocks website where you can find more information about the trading Discord community, as well as there's going to be a link to the GammaEdge, which I will explain a little bit more as we go into detail. We're going to have some new things on the chart. We're going to have gamma positive, gamma negative highs, and then the delta flip levels on the charts as well today. So be looking for that. We'll talk more about it. I'll let you know about GammaEdge at the very end of the video. So don't forget to stay tuned so you can have more information about GammaEdge options data service. So let's take a look at Tesla here. We ended Tesla's Friday at 220.32 officially. And what we saw last week, right? We were talking in the Discord. Haven't done too many videos lately, but we were talking about this kind of curved wave movement of like buy side to sell side to buy side, right? The buy side and sell side curves. So we came from that, Bank of Japan dump. Then we saw us go, up to fill the gap, come back down to test the sell side liquidity, right? We curved back up, buy side, right? As we found that consolidation range. Then we popped up, right? Buy side to sell side to buy side. As we're in an upward move, those moves to buy side are going to take us higher, right? And then our moves back down to sell side are going to be down to some kind of liquidity or consolidation range. And so you can see on the most recent move, we saw that move up, right? We predicted that move up for sure. Posted lots of charts on X and in the Discord showing this curve before it happened, where it was likely to head based on some different things. Mostly we had a gamma high at 227.50 strike for last week's expiration, which we hit. And so that's what we were expecting the move to be. Gave us a second top in an aggressive channel, an ascending channel here. And then we saw a little drop, bit of consolidation, another pop to try to make a run at that 227.50 gamma high. Didn't quite get there. And then we saw an aggressive sell-off Thursday, which rallied back up on Friday with the Jackson Hole event. Right? Where did we drop down to? We dropped down to that fair value gap that we were watching for, that 210 level, which was the beginning of that fair value gap. We know there's liquidity there, so we get the sell side to buy side back to sell side. Right, there's some internal liquidity here in that 1 hour fair value gap. And then we saw us rally back. Now we traded back up into close right into a bearish fair value gap. So if we can't get above this and close this fair value gap out, we're not likely to rally higher. Okay, we're likely to get stuck there, potentially drop back down, take the most recent liquidity level, retest this fair value gap. If it closes, we have some fib levels, 207. Right, if it closes that fair value gap, we got 201.56, we got 197.83, 194.81, and down here is a less aggressive ascending channel as well, the support level. That could catch us if we fell out of this aggressive channel. Okay, but I don't think that that's what's going to happen. And you can see my wave count here. I got a 1, 2, we got an extended 3. Okay, and that extension took us up to 162%, just a little bit above. Again, hit that gamma level, right? Now we're correcting back down, right? And we're pushing back up and we're looking to go to that full symmetrical swing potentially looking for a move up to this to test this larger 1 hour bearish fair value gap. Okay. Also have, we have the resistance of this ascending channel. And so, we could only just tap that fair value gap at 238.54, right? We could get hung up on this fib level at 233.16. And this may not all happen this week. We'll see. We have the median or mean of that channel, right? And then we could recycle back down as we saw something like this, where we were kind of, just testing that middle, popping back down, not quite to support. We didn't have any, we didn't have any true points. Well, we did have two bottoms here, so we didn't quite get back down to that support level, but we rejected that median, right? And then once we got over it, we tested that median, popped up, hit the resistance, came back down and tested it, fell below it, right? Now we're popping back up to test it. If we reject it, right, and there's fib level there too, we also have that gamma high at 255. So I'd say if we run at that 255 and we don't start to see us push through that, right, and we see that gamma level reject, because we know with gamma levels, market makers are hedging long up to those gamma levels. And if we don't see significant gamma increasing at the higher strikes, then we're going to have market makers closing their hedge positions at those levels. We're going to see price react to it and then push back down and then test some, some sell side targets. So what I'm expecting is that some point in time in next week, probably early, maybe Monday or Tuesday, we'll make a push on that 225 level. Okay, it could be Wednesday if we cycle back down first and then make that push. But I'm looking for us to make that push to 225. As long as we open and that 225 gamma level is still there, we're going to make a push on it at some point in time. And right, like I said, it's right on that median of that aggressive channel. So at that point in time, we could reject, come back down and test the support, and then rally up from there. We could break through it, back test it, and then run at the resistance level. Again, that resistance is up here at 238. Currently, gamma does not support that run. Once we get to 230 with current delta readings, we get a delta flip where delta becomes negative. And so again, that push, up to 225 and 230 needs to see some more gamma and delta changing, in a positive direction in order to make that continued push up next week. But with the Nvidia stuff coming out, if QQQ rallies, Nvidia's rallying, definitely a possibility that Tesla could make this push. So we'll just be watching that. We got our, again, we got our objective bearish targets down here in our fib levels, closing out that fair value gap, the internal liquidity from the most recent low, and the fact that we're right now in a bearish 1 hour fair value gap, right? And if we push higher, we got our gamma levels, we got our fib extension levels, we got our channel resistance, right? And then we have our bearish fair value gap that I'm expecting that we're going to push into. Also have some internal liquidity right here around 235, 234 in these highs. So that's what I got for Tesla. Let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ, I didn't put the gamma levels up. Mostly what I want to watch for QQQ, and I called this out on the Discord, and I might have mentioned it on X, but I'm looking for a rally to the all-time high. And if we pull back here, we're not that far off of it. Let's take a look at the all-time high. We also have a fib level right there at the, 205.08. We'll see what this candle high was. $205.20 officially, but we'll say, let's change it. 505.20. So 505.20 is our official high. Again, it's right there on a 7 standard deviation extension. So if we're looking from basically this low to this next candle wick high here, which on a lower time frame would have been a peak, but I'm just taking that candle wick right there, and I'm looking at standard deviation extensions. So you can see, right, we pushed up, we hit that 1.5, we came back down to the 0, right, to test that wick high. We pushed up to 2, we pushed through to 3, pushed up to 4, right, then we pushed up to 5, and we found our rejection there. Okay, right here we have a breaker block, right, or some consolidation, right, minor consolidation on the 1 hour, but I'm going to say breaker block here as well, that when we pop back down, okay, we've tested that consequent encroachment of that breaker block. Now we have a lower high, but we also have this trend line. So if we fall back down, right, just slightly, 172, 173, we keep this breaker block, valid and not violating that by closing lower. We'll keep that trend line of support in place, and then we can see it push up, right? We hit the 5 standard deviation. So from there, we'd be looking, for 6 standard deviations and then 7 standard deviations, which is going to take us back up to that all-time high. If we push up there, we got 515.70, 526.32. Okay. And we'll be watching gamma levels in the Discord to see if we get some moves that support that. But if Nvidia goes ripping with earnings, then definitely we could start to see that push up above. These gray lines here were a previous order block from this high, right, that we pushed up to and we rejected, so we cycled back down. And so we'll be looking to close that order block out as we push higher. And again, sell side targets, we got support level. If we drop that, we're just looking at these standard deviation fib levels, 3.5, 3, 2.5, right? We have sell side liquidity down here at 458 and some change. Last thing we'll take a look at is Nvidia. We got the 1 hour chart open on Nvidia. This is what everybody's talking about this week. And with Nvidia, we got the gamma high for the week coming in at 130. We got the gamma high negative, so that's the positive gamma high or bullish gamma high, right? We have the gamma high negative or the bearish side at 121. Okay, we have some levels here. Take that one off. That one doesn't look valid, but we got 122.68 as a potential sell side target. Right? And then if we can push down to that gamma level and we start to see some negative gamma increasing, we got to push down to internal liquidity here at 120 and some change. Got another internal liquidity level to the downside at 114.25. Another one down at 109.83. Now, I don't think we're going to drop that. You can see we're attacking the internal buy side liquidity from the previous moves. Right? We've had this nice correction, an ABC move, right? And so the correction looks like it could be over, and it looks like we're going to push on the new highs, right? On Nvidia. So, this move up looks good. We just need to take these last little bit of internal liquidity, and we'll take this in external to this swing, but it's also internal to the bigger correction. Right? Once we push that 130, we need to see positive gamma increasing at additional strikes to the upside. And then we get the gamma flip, at least for this week, that comes in at 143. That's where delta changes to negative instead of positive. And at that point in time, I wouldn't expect much higher than 143 unless, again, we see a lot of bullish positions coming in for strikes above 130 that are expiring this week. So hopefully that's been helpful. I do want to take a look at the GammaEdge app and website so that you guys can see kind of what I see when I'm making these calls on the Discord, when I'm also putting these gamma levels on our chart now. So I'm going to pull up GammaEdge, and there's going to be a link in the description below. I got Nvidia pulled up. I want to reference that you have lots of data here, and sometimes it can be hard to understand what these mean. GammaEdge offers a great tutorial kind of on how to use their product. They also come with a Discord that has some different things in it, including a TradingView Gamma script for 0 days and for regular like weekly contracts. And that updates regularly. And so you can grab that on their Discord if you're a member of GammaEdge. But you can see this week, like you can change and filter by expiration. So if we just have this week's pulled up, you can see our 130, right, with a 4 million net delta. We got a 573,000, almost 574,000 net gamma, right? Very delta positive. You can see where that flip comes, where we go negative, right? And then you can see there's a 135 and a 140 that have some nodes that are bigger than the rest. And so, if we pushed up on 130 and we started to see some of these higher gammas increasing either Monday or throughout the week, then we could anticipate that we might see a move up throughout that week. But if we don't see that, or we see negative gamma increasing, there's a possibility that we'll just reject 130 and drop lower. But then you can also check, there's some other information here, tells you total net gamma, Tells you where out of the money puts and out of the money calls become in the money, right? Tells you whether it's call or put dominated, where the potential top and bottom moves are, right? So lots of cool information here. Open interest for put and calls, net open interest, and how far it is away from the spot price. And then you can switch by expiration dates. You can see that 130, right, is holding up, but you got the 135, 140 for next week. That is higher than this week is. You can also see that 140 has built up for the 913 expiration, right? And we're at 129 right now with a million net delta, right? So there is some delta negative here that we'd have to push through, but that can change very quickly if we see, you know, more calls being bought up for those September expirations, right? And then you can see the 150, very delta positive, right? Very delta positive on the OPEX contracts for September, right? Hardly any negative gamma. So I bet if we push, you know, this is just, you know, a little bit speculative, but if we push over this 130, this 130 becomes the floor, right? And then we'll make potential pushes up to those 140, 150 levels into September. And that's all, you know, that's all assuming that earnings report comes out good and it's well received by the market. But for right now, we're just looking at this week. We got that push up to 130, which is likely. And then from there, we'll see if we see a rejection or we can push up to higher levels. If you're interested in GammaEdge, I'm going to put the link in the description below. You can also find it if you're a member of the Rawstocks Trading Discord, where I have links to all my partners and affiliates. So go ahead and check that out. And hopefully you guys have a very profitable week. Good luck on your trading, and we'll see you on the next one.